So this is day one of a challenge I'm giving myself, something I've been thinking about for a long time, knowing that I want and need to do, even if I don't really want to. So I am challenging myself to 100 days of vlogging. The intent is, for me personally, first and foremost, and perhaps for my children secondarily, almost just as importantly though, I think, but it's mainly for me, and the reason is because it isn't just a challenge in like the typical internet challenge sense, but I very much struggle with being seen and heard and perceived. I am highly introverted and even reclusive and shut off and shut in. So, and I have a lot of reasons for that, or justifications, rationalizations in my own head and just in my nature. So I'm a life path 7 and an Enneagram 5.4. I'm an INFJ/PT. I'm highly introspective and just I've dealt with a lot of trauma and things. Might have a criminal history, etc. Things that just add and compound this fear of being seen and perceived and interpreted. And I know that it's not all rational. I know that a lot of it is, I make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. So there's that. Clearly. So this 100 post or 100 days of vlogging challenge for me is just my way of pushing through a lot of the ugly, messy, raw things that ultimately and realistically are part of me. They don't make me who I am, but the good and the bad all together are parts of who I am. They're facets and aspects of me, and I definitely do believe in people radically loving themselves. It doesn't mean that we go out and do something horrible and then try to say it's justified, or I don't mean that type of radical self-acceptance, but if we have done something regrettable, rather than sitting in that and continuing to let that hold us down or create blockages, loving ourselves in spite of that and finding something to love about ourselves in that learning process, or in whatever it was that allowed us to surrender, or that allows us to surrender moving forward, or that allows us to heal. Whatever it is that we can find to love about ourselves through our ugly mess is fine, because much greater than whatever those ugly mess things are, we're all divine sparks. We're all eternal beings. This is my belief, that we're all truly emanations of the divine, of something pure and sacred and holy. So we deserve that. So we deserve to love ourselves radically through this human experience, and for some of us through this human experiment. And there are a lot of things that I do want to share, and like I've tried creating like a faceless channel, and if you've ever tried to do that, it's just, it was exhausting. And it did not feel aligned. It did not feel fully authentic. And frankly, I was also, I've done both voice work and like AI clone voice work. And I'm sure I will still use that in some circumstances, possibly, probably, I don't know, because I did think it was kind of fun to some degree. I didn't like how demanding it was to put myself in that box, and then use all of these fears to justify it. So this particular post, because it is an introduction, will likely be much longer than the rest, because I'm already at over 6 minutes, and I was really hoping to stay under at like 3 to 5 per, maybe even less. But yeah, I just asked myself, what if I just show up for myself for 100 days? Not to teach or coach or sell anything, but just to witness myself, because I am and have been and will continue to be growing through my human journey. And I don't need to wait to be ready. Like, there is no more waiting. There is no more, I'm not ready. I'm never going to be more ready than I am today, or than I was. Maybe I am more ready today than I was a year ago. I might grow, I might crash. I might do a little bit of both. I'll probably do a little bit of crashing and a whole lot of growing. So that's the plan. I'm also, in this 100-day challenge, I'm going to keep a journal for myself. So every time after, at least once every time after, I'm going to prompt myself with just kind of reflecting on what I said, what I afraid of, and what I'm happy about, and what part of me I needed to witness, or that I felt needed to be witnessed, whether by myself or my children, or if I decide to share it, because I know that I will share some things. Like, I might share this, even though I'll probably keep it unlisted, who knows, anyways. But certain things, like there are certain days that I want to talk about numerology, or that I want to talk about what it's like to be a life past 7, or an Enneagram 5/4, or, you know, my HD type, or, certain astrology things, because I am an astrologer and numerologist, and I'm a mature student. I'm just finishing my bachelor's degree in my 40s, and a single parent, and, have faced a lot of things and overcome a lot, and I feel like I deserve to witness my growth, and just kind of put a little bit of a pin in it, not in a back burner kind of way, but in a kind of like, it's okay if we hang this on the fridge kind of way. So yeah, if you do end up seeing this, God bless you, and I hope that you take something from it, whether entertainment value, or know that you're worth it as well, and we're not in this alone. Sometimes it feels very lonely, but we all deserve to be loved. Know that we're loved. Know that we're valued and divine, and just magnificent and precious, and that everything's gonna be okay.